welcome back everybody. We'll talk with Delphine today. I am so excited. I am here with Scott from WildHorse here on Main Street in Montrose, Colorado. And, sorry. And we're gonna make my favorite drink, which happens to be, I believe, your favorite drink to make as well.
It is.
So old fashions are really something that can be very dangerous for me. So I've had it here before, but we were just talking about local distilleries. So tell me more about what we have here and what you're gonna make my old fashioned with.
Okay, so our goal here at the WildHorse Wine Whiskey was to feature and showcase Colorado whiskeys. That means whiskeys that are made in Colorado. Most of them are grain to glass, which means that the grains and the corn is actually grown here in Colorado, never leaves the state. It's fermented, distilled, bottled, distributed all throughout the state of Colorado and beyond. But our goal
starts at the grain?
At the grain level, yes.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yes.
That's amazing.
And so our goal is to introduce these Colorado whiskeys to our local residents and visitors here in Montrose and help to support these businesses. Like every other business, it's difficult to get your name out there. And that's what we want to do, is just help them grow and prosper.
Awesome, awesome. So tell me what we have here.
Okay, so what I'm going to be doing for you today is making you an old fashioned. And we'll start out with a nice glass, chilled glass from our freezer. And here at the WildHorse, we take pride in our whiskey balls. Every day we make them, and we pull them out of the molds, and we start with a nice whiskey ball.
And can you tell me why that's so important? Because I actually did not know that, and I learned that when I learned to love whiskey, rye, on why is it that we shouldn't put like just a ton of ice and then the water melts too quick? Why is the ball so important?
Well, the ball is important. It's exactly what you said. It reduces the melting and the dilution of the whiskey and the drink, and it slows it down. When you have a bunch of different cubes, there's a lot of surface area for the ice to melt and turn to water and get into your drink. With a ball, we reduce that surface area.
Yes, and is it correct me if I'm wrong, but I've learned that also once this starts melting, in the first few minutes after that, it actually opens up the whiskey.
That's very true. Yes, yes. You're very.
I am a big fan. I'm a big fan.
What I'm going to be doing is making you a old fashioned with one of our most popular brands, distilled here in Colorado, Colorado Springs. It's one of the most widely acclaimed whiskey. It's grain to glass. It's called 291.
Oh, I see all the.
Yep. And this is a small batch Colorado bourbon whiskey.
Great.
So when we do our old fashions, we start out with a beautiful copper jigger, and we pour 1 1/2 ounces, plus a little bit maybe.
This is for me, so that's fine.
For you, of our favorite whiskey. And then we make our own old-fashioned mixture, which is mostly choke cherry syrup from Palisades, Colorado. So again, we're supporting another Colorado business. We put about maybe an ounce or so of
Look at this.
beautiful old-fashioned syrup, and then we make our own mixture of bitters, and we put a few dashes of bitters in there, and then we gently stir it. Give it a little stir, gently.
Oh, I don't know if you guys can hear this, but it's like music to my ears.
Then we always give it just a little bit of floater on the top, just to make sure you know the whiskey's there. We take these beautiful spears, and we grab a cherry that is a whiskey cherry. It's a very different from a maraschino cherry that you might get in a Shirley Temple or something. This is specifically crafted for whiskey drinks. Put that in there.
What makes it whiskey drink? Like it's my first time. So I knew yours were different, but I didn't know why. So
they're a different kind of cherry. It's not your typical cherry. I'm not exactly sure if they come from Colorado, but they're soaked in a certain syrup that actually helps to bring out a beautiful taste in an old fashioned.
Fantastic.
Then we take our orange.
Little zest.
Slime, get some zest out of it. I don't know if you can see it going away. And then we're not done yet. Then we get our orange essence. This is an atomizer. And we put a few squirts of orange essence on there on the top. And that is an old fashioned.
Thank you so much. All right, well, there you have it. This is my favorite drink. I can't wait to taste it, but before I do, we're gonna join Julie back on our chairs and tell you more about Scott and Julie, why they opened the business in Montrose, and I think we have a great history about the building too. So let's get back to it. All right, Julie, come on in. All right, I have to try this now. Sitting down. Cheers. I wish you guys had one. It smells phenomenal. I will tell you, I am, as you can tell, a big fan of bourbon, rye, and old fashioned is one of my favorite drinks. And so from Montana whiskeys to Colorado whiskeys, I've always been so picky about what I can do and why and how, but supporting local distilleries are so important. And so tell me how this came about. Why did you guys open here? And, why did you want to be really lifting local distilleries and wineries?
Okay. Well, Julie and I, after COVID, we were in the business of making and selling postcards to tourist areas, and of course that business slowed down. And this building came available for sale from Glee Westcott, who ran Tiffany's, etc., for 27 years here out of this building. And COVID had taken its toll on her business, and she was just ready to retire. So we were able to pick up the building from her, and then we had to decide what we wanted to do with it. We talked about it a little bit, and we decided that we wanted to make a whiskey bar because we saw what was happening in Colorado and Colorado's love and affinity for whiskeys and so forth. So we did a little bit of research, and we decided that's what we were going to do, and we spent 18 months renovating this building. It's, I'm told it's the third oldest building in Montrose. It was originally a dry goods store and a hardware store, Lathrop Hardware. And it was built in 1890, and it served the community well for many, many years. It's in great condition, but we restored it from a boutique store into a place that could be called a restaurant or tavern. So we put in bathrooms with new plumbing, new electricity, a whole new look. Julie painted the whole, all the walls. We did new lighting.
The style. And, the lighting is phenomenal. You have great taste.
Thank you.
Yes.
And our goal was to just make it something that's representative of Colorado and Montrose. And we feel like we've done that. The comments we've gotten have been just phenomenal. And it's a very comfortable setting and a great place to have a nice glass of whiskey with a good friend or your spouse or your girlfriend.
And I do think it also brings, even though you updated it, it also brings to me like the wood and a few, like the ceiling. Is this original?
It's an original stamped tin ceiling, and it's in terrific shape. We didn't have to touch it at all. And
I know, I think it's so phenomenal. So when we come here and have a whiskey and the piano is right there, it feels like we're in one of those Western movies, right?
Yeah.
It's so fun.
Yeah.
So for me, so it's really important to support local businesses. That's why I'm having an old fashioned. Don't mind me, this is really delicious. And again, I think when we talk about these small flavors and the spraying and having the floating on the top and all these little details make it so different than anywhere else. I mean, you can't have anything like this in town. And so that makes you very special. So tell me more about your passion and who you are, because you're here. And again, you open your doors to many businesses too, to highlight themselves and really be, collaborate with you too, which I really love. So other than whiskey, we've talked a lot about whiskey, let's talk about wineries.
Okay. We have a great selection of wine. Julie, she procures most of the wines. We've taken many trips to Palisades, and we also have consulted with some of our local wine distributors and asked them what is good. Julie, has made the selection of wines. We're on the verge of switching our menu a little bit to be more geared towards a summer and warm climate. And we were lucky enough to pick up a WildHorse line of wine.
Yeah, you did.
I'll tell that story. It's funny because when we were working with our distributor, she was showing me different wines, and one of them was called WildHorse. And I'm like, oh, well, that sounds good. Is it good wine? Because I never heard of it. It's from California, Central Coast of California. And she goes, we get really good feedback on it. And so I was like, okay, let's do it. So we carry a Cabernet, a Merlot, a Chardonnay. We have, the whole line. And it's been very popular. And people ask me all the time, is this your wine? And I tell the truth, no, it's not.
But it's phenomenal that you have a wine named after you.
Exactly.
That we can have here and that you trust and that you like.
Yep.
Right? I think that's all about the trust of the process. How is it processed? Where is it processed? And is it made really with heart, and is it delicious? Right?
Yeah.
So
We've gotten good feedback on it.
And we-
so.
sorry.
We also carry a line of wine from Jackrabbit Hill up in Cedar Edge.
Yeah, that's
And
our house wine.
That's our house wine, and we love to support Jackrabbit Hill, and it's a good tasting wine, a good selling wine, and that's out of Cedar Edge, Colorado.
Sorry.
We are trying.
It's too strong for me.
We are trying to extend more Colorado wineries on our wine list. Right now, we don't have a ton of Colorado wines, but that's our goal, is to get more Colorado wines.
And so in Palisade, tell me more about what's your story there. Have you visited with wineries? And I know you have Laneux. Maybe.
Laneux and Montrose, yeah.
Yes. And so have you visited the Peonia and Hotchkiss? And I know you have a few wineries, and it would be really nice to highlight those. So what's your experience and your goal with that locally?
Yeah, we've been to quite a few of the wineries in Palisades and Peonia and all of those areas, and we're still trying to hand select which ones to do. We went to the Palisade Wine and Food Festival and sampled a bunch of wines there. We just got to get to the point where we're bringing them in. So a lot of the distributors don't carry them, so it makes it a little bit more difficult.
You got to visit them in
get
person, and they have limited availability because they're usually pretty small.
Yes, and that happens often. So I used to work with Seattle Fish Company at the time, and I worked with a lot of restaurants. And when they want to support local, it becomes difficult if they have high volume because the local wineries can't keep up. So I think it's important that if you commit to one, that you know they're going to keep up with your volume. Because you've been so successful so far in Montrose. So tell us more about who you are as people. Where are you from? And I hear that you just moved into your home in Montrose, a new home. So tell us more about yourself.
Well, we moved here from Kauai, Hawaii in 2019. I'm a surfer, and Julie is a horsewoman. She worked on a...
You get the horse theme.
Yes. Oh my God, that's where it's coming from.
She worked on a very big ranch, probably the most beautiful property, I think, on the face of the earth, called Jurassic Healy Ranch, and where they filmed plenty of movies there. And she was in charge of making sure the horses were well taken care of and ridden and ready. And I used to just surf all the time. So
And we did our postcards.
Yeah,
Do you
and we
miss
did
the
a-
ocean?
I miss the ocean.
Oh,
a
I
lot.
bet you do. So I'm a skier. No offense to like snowboarding or anything like that, but I'm a skier and I am fascinated by the ocean, but I'm also very scared of it.
Yes, a lot of
I think
people
it's
are.
very powerful, right? Like sometimes it can just really be powerful. But so why Montrose?
Well, our youngest child, Miley, she decided she wanted to go to school at the University of Colorado in Boulder, and we had been in Kauai for 20 years, and we decided that we would be closer to her. And so we moved out, and she said, you can come to Colorado, but don't come too close to Boulder.
I love that so much. That's so honest.
Yeah. And so we're small town people, Kauai, Hawaii is small town, everybody knows everybody. And we had a friend that used to come visit us from Ridgeway, and he says, come out and check out Ridgeway. We didn't even know where it was. So we came out, checked out Ridgeway, and we wound up moving to Log Hill in 2019.
Yeah, 4 years ago.
And then we found ourselves in Montrose more than we found ourselves in Ridgeway. So, and we fell in love with Montrose. We liked the feeling and the vibe here. And that's how we started looking and found this building. So it's been, the construction of this building, the beginning of this business has been just a passion that we've had to try to build something that is substantial and good for the community and good for us, and help us live a nice life here in Montrose, and that's exactly what we're doing.
And I'm all about impact, and I think you've made such an impact on the community because we don't have anything like it. And what I like too is that you're not open all the time. And I think that's a testament to probably spending time with family and having enough time for other things. But you are very specific about who you are and why you're here and how you want to support local. And I really want to thank you for that. I think
Thank you.
that's
Yes.
phenomenal.
And I know you're very charitable and you do things for charities, and we're just getting our feet wet. We've done several fundraisers for
Mrs. Claus.
Mrs. Claus and,
For a cause.
and
Yep.
hospice, or what was the other charity we did something?
Oh, the Habitat.
Habitat for Humanity,
Yes.
and a couple of others. So we do open our doors and make our a building
Space available, yeah.
for charitable fundraisers and to help out.
That's good to know.
The community.
That's really good to know, because as we talked about before this, that's a really big thing for me. Charity, nonprofits locally is so important to me. And I actually was here when you had the presentation with the high school, and it was just so phenomenal. So thank you for sharing your space. Thank you for being who you are. But you also have a kind of, I don't want to call it VIP because, but you kind of have a VIP page on Facebook. That if you're a member, you get to know what's in. So how do we get in?
So we
the
started it.
secret?
We're not really Facebook techies, so we're learning as we go. But we started a Facebook group, which we have about 650 members now, and we put out
Nice.
little posts if we run a little special or something good is happening. And then we just recently started a Facebook page, which I guess is for businesses, and we're trying to figure out how to merge those two together. But if you need to get in touch with us or learn what our hours are or what we've got going on, if we're doing a whiskey tasting or a wine tasting event, which are just wonderful events, then you can go to the Facebook page, become a member. We approve everybody, and you'll get messages. This broadcast will be on that page, and so we're doing that. We still haven't figured out Instagram quite yet, but I think
I can help you with that.
good. We kind of need that.
I can tell you what works, what doesn't. I've
Yeah.
tried everything.
Yeah.
But yes, I can.
Yes, but it's a great place to come in, and when someone like you comes in, we want to make sure that you get treated the best possible way and have the best possible experience, because that will motivate you to bring your friends in and people like you. So our place is so open, and people talk and they meet, and we get stories of people. I met some of my best friends I just met in the bar. We've only been open for 6 months, and they're meeting great friendships and
we've
having
met some
barbecues
amazing
and dinners and doing business together. So it's really that kind of place. It's kind of open like that, where people can move around and interact with each other. So we're really happy about that.
And I'm all about energy for me. People who are doing good attract other people who are doing good. And it's so important to me to not only give back, but also be around people like you who want to be good, do good, and we have somebody at the door.
Someone's at the door.
Someone's
He's looking
at
at his
the door.
watch.
He's like, oh my God, it's not open yet. So we're going to get to him soon, but it is important to me that...
And with that, I wanted to mention too to everybody, our normal hours are 4 o'clock to 9 o'clock, Wednesday through Thursday. Our address is 431 East Main Street. And so we're going to extend our hours to 10 o'clock because of the summer hours. It doesn't get dark until 8:30.
Starting
Yes.
tomorrow.
Starting
I
tomorrow.
love that.
So we'll be open till 10 o'clock.
Great.
And then if everything goes well, cross your fingers, you might see an old historical pickup truck out in the front. They'll say Wild Horse Wine and Whiskey right there. So you'll know you're at the right spot when you see the old pickup truck. So that's exciting.
I love that.
And also, I want to say we have John Hudson, ragtime. Is that what kind of piano?
He's a piano player. He plays all over the Western Slope, and he plays
He's going to play here.
on Wednesday
on
nights.
Wednesdays. Yeah.
He's
Fantastic.
here.
And
then
he
we
plays
have,
on that 100-year-old piano over there.
and then we have another guy starting tomorrow who's going to play guitar on Fridays.
Fantastic.
So just
Well,
quiet,
you heard
low-key
it here first. We've got a guitar player, piano player, different days of the week. But I want to say too, as you watched Scott make this for me, just understand that it takes a little while to make the drinks the way it's supposed to be made. And so I ask for everyone patience. Because I know that when we are the bar, right, and we want an old fashioned and we want it to be done right, well, then you have to wait a little bit because Scott, might have a couple of orders before you, but he's going to do it right. He's going to take his time, and therefore, chill
It doesn't take that long. Just come on in. We'll get you an old fashioned right away.
And we also have charcuterie boards as far as
Yes.
food. Charcuterie boards and cheese boards.
Go get it. I'm gonna go get it.
I'll get it.
Here. Yes.
I'll get
go get it. So those charcuterie boards look amazing.
I
Julie
don't know where you want me to put it.
has a little sample here. We can see. Yes, right here. Ah, perfect. Let me see. Yep. So these are the charcuterie boards, and you can have a little bit of food while you're here. So if you hadn't had a chance to eat first, or you can have some food. What else do you have that you want to highlight?
We have a cheese board we make, and then we have been buying some cheesecake from Backstreet Bakery. Right on.
Yes, Backstreet Bagel.
Yes.
Yes, they have
And they
amazing
make
cheesecake.
They make a great cheesecake. So we're just exploring and seeing what people respond to and like, and we're open for all kinds of ideas. But
I like that
we're
a lot.
flexible.
So you're open to feedback and just knowing what people want.
Sure.
Exactly.
That's amazing. Well, thank you both, Julie, Scott.
Thank you
so
for
much.
coming out to our
I am so glad you could come. So we're here on Main Street. Remind me of the address.
439 East Main Street. We're right next to Heirlooms Hospice, and that would be on the on the north side of Main Street.
And then you're going to have the truck soon.
You should see a
Hopefully.
truck out there. It's going to be green with black fenders, and it's a 1941 Ford F1 truck, fully restored.
I'm excited. And we're so happy to have you guys in the community.
Thank you.
So thank you so much.
All right.
Here you have it, guys. And come and have this wonderful old fashioned and more at WildHorse here in Montrose, Colorado.